Today we have a very interesting one in what is called the Forestry Challenge. Basically, you start off with a tractor and a chainsaw or whatever you please with not a whole lot of money, and just try to work yourself up from there, get all these trees out and everything cleared out. So what I have allotted myself to have is this beautiful 8910 case with the attachment on the front to allow us to move the trees, the logs. We have a stump grinder just because if we don't have a stump grinder, there's not going to be a way that we can disc around to get everything tilled up easily. And then we have just a regular John Deere chisel plow. So we're going to go ahead and get straight on into it and start chopping down these trees. Okay, so we have everything parked where we want it, and we are going to go ahead, head over here, and try to get this path cleared of the few trees so we can get on our way and start chopping down. So we got the first tree cut down, and we're going to cut down a few more, start a little bit of a pile once we get them cleaned up, cutting the lengths we want, and then from there we will keep pushing out. But we just want to try to get some order to this operation so everything is not just running willy-nilly. So as you can see, we have chopped down 6-7 trees. We've actually created quite a mess, but we're going to get the branches off, get them moved, and then cut them into the lengths that we so desire so that we can sell and make money, and then we will keep pushing on from there. So now that we have these 8 trees skinned up, not much left of them, just the trunk, we're going to cut them up into, I believe, 2 different sizes is what we're going to shoot for. For the bigger parts, we're going to try to get on trucks once they can come in, and then we are going to take the smaller part of the trunk and we're going to put them into 2 separate piles. So we're going to go ahead and cut these where we can and then pick them up with the tractor. Most of them are cut into 2 different lengths now, so we're going to head and grab those, put them over to the side. We're going to cut the tree stumps down and then see where we stand from there, and then we might call it a day after that, or we might keep pushing on. So I'd say the trickiest part of this right now is just making sure we can get past these stumps without running completely over them and making damage to the tractor. As right now, we're not doing too bad, but it's just something we will have to keep watching as we progress. Just climbed out to make sure that everything's looking the way we want it. Some are a little shorter than others, but it's still the majority of what we're wanting to send off to the mill. So this is working perfectly so far. We just have to get a few more of the bases of the trunks over here, and then we will make our other pile as well. And this right here concludes the last of the trunk base log. The rest of it will be the top of the trunk, which is not as good premium wood. So when we set this down, we will get started and finish up that pile and get on to some stump trimming and get that all trimmed down so we can actually drive the tractor around with not having to be as, watchful. Now coming over here with this one, this will be our last and final top of this. So once we go ahead and set this one down, it will be the last that we have to do for what we had planned for today. We just hop out of the 8910. We have finished both of our piles. This pile doesn't need to look as nice because it's not going to be as accessible. We might use it as firewood and some other various things. This will be mainly used for lumber. So we have that nicely put into 2 different stacks, and now we're going to take the tractor back over here, put the stump cutter attachment on it, or grinder, and we're going to try to get rid of these because we almost punctured our tire a few times. We got lucky. We only had a few chunks taken out, but it is going to be really hard if we don't keep up with the stumps. So we just got done hooking up the PTO. I wish we had a quick hitch for this. Not super tricky, but would be useful since it will be coming on and off quite a bit. That might be something to invest in, but for now we are just going to let it roll as it is. So we have the tractor backed up to our first stump. We are going to fire this thing up and then go ahead and grind this first stump all the way down till it disappears. So being in this thing is quite literally fantastic. It is eating anything you throw at it with ease. We can just back up right over this and lower it down, and it's just going to eat it up, and by the time we pick it up, that stump, as you can see, is just completely gone. So we're going to hit these last 2. We'll see if it can handle that bigger stump, and if it does, we'll just keep throwing as much as we can at it throughout this season. Just like that, all of our stumps are completely gone. We are going to take the cultivator here in a minute, and we're going to rip up some of this ground to get some remaining roots out, and then I think we're going to call it a day for there. Basically, we're just going to rip up probably a quarter of the size of a football field right here and just get these remaining roots out. Grass will grow back eventually, but we just don't want, if we were to ever put this in farm ground or anything else, we don't want those remaining roots down in the ground, so we're just going to go ahead, rip it up, and go from there. And just like that, we've got what we wanted to done. I'd like to get these rocks up, and then I'd really like to get a small disc to not make this as clumpy. Right now it's super clumpy because it's just, you know, it's getting ripped up and getting turned over. So eventually we'd like to purchase that and maybe a few other things. Maybe thinking about putting a home or a camper out here, and then maybe even living off the land, maybe starting a small farm. So we have the chisel over here. It is taken off, sat on the ground. We have the tractor just running idling right now, and I think we're gonna call it good for a day. We put in a lot of work, a lot of long hours, and we got quite a bit done, more than I actually expected. We cleared up the entrance, made our 2 piles, and then we're really gonna push hard when we go on from there and try to get a lot more knocked out. So I'm going to hit the hay now. I'm going to relax for the evening in my tent, and then I will catch y'all in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this is something a little different, and it's been a while because it's been super busy, but now that we have the free time back in making videos, we are trying some new things, and this is going to be a new series, just seeing how much money we can make and where we're going to take it. But I've got something a little special for you guys. We are going to let the viewers decide, or who decide what they want. So what's going to happen is you can comment farm, and if you comment farm and we have enough farm votes, we will try to turn this into a little farm ground, or we can just keep logging and try to make a wood chip business, or whatever you guys would like. So comment wood chip or farm, and we will choose what you guys want. Thank you, and see you on the next one.